Hello, good morning, Miss Sade. This is my video submission week 16. For this protocol, I did the aorta protocol. Here I start off with an increased view of the PLA, as well as a decreased view, and a zoom view of the LVOT. Here are my 2D dimensions in diastole and in systole with an ejection fraction of 66.9. This is a LVOT diameter, end mode of the left ventricle, and end mode of the aorta. Aortic root diameter with the aortic valve cusp separation and the LA diameter. Here I added the color Doppler for both the aorta and the mitral valve. Here is my RVIT with color as well, and a Doppler. As you can see, there is no regurgitation, just the cusp closure. Here's the RVOT as well as a color Doppler. Here is the pulmonic valve Vmax. You can see here a little bit of insufficiency, but not enough for us to measure. I was able to get more of that insufficiency in pulsed wave, which was a 97.5 centimeters per second. Here's a short axis of the LV, short axis of the mitral valve with color Doppler. Here is the short axis of the aorta. I colored in the tricuspid valve, dropped a Doppler on it as well, and added a color Doppler for the pulmonic valve, as well as a pulsed wave Doppler. Here you can see the insufficiency as well. Here's the PV max. Here I did a zoom view of the aortic valve so you can better visualize the valves. Here is the right coronary cusp, non-coronary cusp, and left coronary cusp. Here I added the color Doppler in order to visualize any defects. Here is the aortic valve area. Here I added a color Doppler to the left side of the heart to better visualize the left atrium and the flow going from the left atrium to the left ventricle. I added a continuous wave Doppler as well as a pulse wave Doppler with peak E, peak A, and the decel time. I added a pulse wave Doppler for the pulmonary veins. I did my TDI, lateral E and A, medial E and A, and RVS velocity. Here is color Doppler flow on the right side of the heart, visualizing the tricuspid valve. Here is a continuous wave Doppler on it, as well as a pulse wave Doppler. Here is a 5-chamber, a better 5-chamber, with color flow Doppler visualizing the aortic valve. I dropped down a pulse wave Doppler to get the LVOT VTI, as well as a continuous wave Doppler to get the AV VTI. Here is my 4-chamber again. To do the Simpson's method, here is my apical 4-chamber in diastole and systole with an ejection fraction of 51.7, as well as a left atrial volume during systole. Here is my 2-chamber with color Doppler. I was able to do a Simpson's method of the apical 2-chamber both in diastole and systole with the left atrial volume. Here is my 3-chamber, did a color Doppler on the mitral valve and a color Doppler on the aortic valve. Drop down a pulse wave Doppler to get the LVOT Vmax and a continuous wave Doppler to get an AV Vmax. Here is my subcostal 4-chamber, as well as the IVC collapsibility with a sniff. I dropped down an end mode, both my IVC diameter in expiration and IVC diameter during inspiration. Here is my suprasternal notch with color flow Doppler. I did PDOPs in the suprasternal notch as well as the apical, and that concludes my aortic valve protocol for my video summation weekly 6.